I remember when Remtrex dropped his Elite sessions on JDZ. I was listening to it on the way to school. I think it was exam time around then, and I wasn't making music at this point, but I knew I wanted to make music eventually. And I remember saying to myself like, yo, one day I need to work with this guy no matter what. And I set that as one of my goals. And in 2018, when I found out he was recording new music, I put a batch of beats together for him. I got put in contact with him, and then the rest is history.
Money to everyone amazes. Knows that you grew up geezers, but as money gets involved, that's when shit changes. When shit rearranges, you should drink for them niggas. Pass brief to them niggas and look out for them niggas.
So I think I made this beat around early 2017, and I think it was around the time that I got Nexus. And the good thing about Nexus is because there's so many different sounds on there, you can manipulate them and experiment with different ones. And like, I don't usually make drill, but this ended up being a drill beat. And I started off with the Nebula Piano from like the Nexus piano pack. And I started off with like a simple one note progression. And then that sounds like this. Because that was so simple, for the hook I kind of wanted it to be a bit more energetic and have a bit more going on. So I turned the one notes into chords and added a couple extra notes on the top. And then that sounds like this. So that was kind of it for like the bare bones of the beat. Underneath that I added like this little pad, which you can't really hear, but it adds a bit of texture to the beat. And that together sounds like this. You probably can't hear it much, but it's literally just one note droning on. Then moving on to the drums, I kind of based the drums off Let's Lurk by 6-7, because those drums are like really bouncy. For the bouncy bit, I use this kind of snare thing, and that sounds like this. And that's playing throughout the whole beat, so it starts when the first drop happens and it stops when the outro comes in. Underneath that I added like a normal snare which hits on beat 3 because the beat's in double time, and then together those sound like this. To finish off the snares, I added like this little percussive snare in the background, which was really common in like drill back in the day. And it's just got a bit of reverb on it, sort of thing. It sounds like this together. And it hits on the second beat of every 4 bars. After that I added the hi-hats. Now looking back on it, because this beat's so old, I don't know if I would have added the hi-hats in now, because I thought I might be overdoing it a little bit. Obviously the beat got played, so I can't complain, but I mean, I don't know if I'll do that now, sort of thing. But the hi-hats on their own sound like this. Next I added the 808, and because there was so much already I felt going on in the beat, I sort of wanted to keep the 808s very simple. So I've got 2 patterns. I've got one pattern that hits like in the first half of the hook, and then it switches up slightly in the second half. And under the 808s, the kicks literally hit each time the 808 hits, just to keep it simple and not overdo it. So after that, all the drums together sound like this. So the last things that I added to the beat were my tags and my signature sound. And most of the time I use this kind of like pluck sound. So if you hear that in the beat, you know I've made it, sort of thing, without having to hear my tags. On its own, that sounds like this. Then I added my whistle tag, which is kind of more recognizable than my normal tag now. And that's kind of what I always wanted, because like my inspirations like Swifter, Rude Kid, SX, and a lot of the time they've got these like weird sounds in the back to their beats, and you could listen to that and already know they made the beat. And it's kind of like those little quirks that I try and implement in my music now. So yeah, the whole beat basically.
Have you noticed the biggest snakes are the ones that used to be your mates? Snakes up in the field, you gotta look for them, hiding in the grass. More time someone will snake you again if they've snaked you in the past. So think fast.